Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 378th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you will see that this is a custom map, and a map that I've never fought on before. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Mars, who has bought the Rome Scipii faction. And I think at first glance here I can see he's he's got the bog standard 31k army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, so he's got 14 infantry, 6 cavalry. As I say, that's a bog standard 31k army. Very effective, very efficient. That's why most people tend to use this army. Okay, so that's 14 infantry, 6 cavalry, the bog standard 31k army. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Mad King, who has bought the BROTHERHOOD faction. I think he's got 11 infantry there. He got 3 archers. I think, let's have a look. That's 11 infantry there. And I think he's got 6 cavalry. Just a 6 cavalry there. And I think he's got 3 archers. So look at the upgrades on his cavalry. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's just got 6 upgrades. I think he's got 6 upgrades on his cavalry there. And I think he's got 3 archer units. Yep, 1, 2, 3 archer units. Yep, so he's got 11 infantry, 3 arch, 6 cavalry. Our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought a very old Carthage army. I made this army up maybe 11 years ago, 12 years ago, and I like to bring it to the modern day battlefield, see how well it would do against good players. If you notice here, I've got a block formation for my spearmen. I find that block formation works very well for me. As I say, I got 14 spearmen. I say very old-fashioned formation, but we see how well it does on the modern-day battlefield against really good players. I've got 3 Balearic slingers, which have got quite good range and quite a lot of ammunition, and I've got 3 cavalry. But as I say, that old Carthage army of mine, it'll be interesting to see how well it does during the course of the battle. Our fourth teammate is Brotherhood member Mystique, who has bought the Rome Scipii faction. And I think Mystique, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... He's got 14 infantry. Yeah, I think I've got 14 infantry there. Just quick look at the upgrades. Gold shield, gold attack, from what I could see there. So you got 14 infantry. I think 3 cavalry and 3 archers there. So that's a pretty balanced army there. 3 cavalry and 3 archers. But if you notice, the archers are fully upgraded. Okay, 9 upgrades. That's 3 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So those are serious archers there. Remember, the Roman auxiliary archers are good anyway. And as I say, got 3 cavalry there with 7 upgrades on it. Got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So that's a pretty good balanced army there. I think 3 good maxed archers, 3 cavalry, and that amount of infantry is pretty good. So there's our team. This has got the ingredients to be a great battle, and I hope you enjoy it. And here is the other team. We have RV Earth. A lot of you will know Earth, extremely good player, and he has bought the Rome SBQR faction. But if you notice here, he's only got 8 infantry. Now, to me, that is an extremely low number of infantry for the modern day battlefield, and I see he's just got gold shield, gold attack on that infantry. So 8 infantry. Interesting. And he's got 6 cavalry. Let's have a look at the upgrades on his cavalry. Whoa, his cavalry is fully upgraded. 9 upgrades. That's 3 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now, as we know, the Roman Praetorian cavalry are already elite cavalry. But you fully upgrade them, and that kind of makes them super elite. Make no mistake, these could be battle-winning troops we're looking at there. Fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry. Whoa. And then also he's got 6 archers. 2, 3, yeah, he's got 6 archers. Okay, so he's got 6 maximum upgraded cavalry, 6 archers, but only 8 infantry. Be interesting to see how well this army does. As I say, on the modern day battlefield here, that is a low amount of infantry. So as I say, be interesting to see how well Earth does during the course of the battle. Their next teammate is Titan Sparky, and he has bought the Macedon faction. Now, Titan Spark is a very good player, and I noticed he's also very good with Macedon as well as Rome. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does during the course of this battle. Okay, let's have a look at the upgrades. Now, if you notice here, his Pilot Shield unit there has just got 6 upgrades. Okay, so that's just Gold Shield, Gold Attack. And then his first battle line behind that, if you notice, has got 8 upgrades. Okay, so he's got 2 Experience Stripes, Gold Shield, Gold Attack. Okay, so that's a staggered upgraded formation. But then behind that, can you see he's got like a separate army? He's got a first army at the front, and then he's got another Pilot Shield unit there, Gold Shield, Gold Attack. Okay, you can see the upgrades, and then he's got another army behind that, once again with 8 upgrades. Once again, 2 Experience Stripes, Gold Shield, Gold Attack. So let's say he's got 2 separate armies there that he can use. And if you notice, he's got his less upgraded troops at the front to make first contact with the enemy and take the pilers, and then he's got his better upgraded troops behind those Pilot Shield units there. So he's got a good staggered upgrades there. I think he's got 5 companion cavalry. Yeah, 5 companion cavalry with only Gold Shield, Gold Attack upgrades on there though. And I think he's got 1, 2, 3 long-range Cretan archers. Okay, their next teammate, so that's a pretty good Macedon army there. And their next teammate is HOS Hos Tara, who has bought the Rome SPQR faction. And I think Tara's got the bog standard 31k army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, so as I say, the bog stand, nothing wrong with the bog standard 31k army, very effective, very efficient, and that's why most people use it, because it is just that. Okay, so 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. So it'll be interesting to see how well Tara does with those troops there. And their last teammate is RTW player Salty. Now, a lot of you will know Salty, very good 31k player, plays a lot of 31k battles, and as I say, very good player, and he has bought the Rome Giulio faction. Have a quick look at his army there. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think he's got 12 infantry. Yep, 12 infantry. But also, I'd like to draw your attention to, within his infantry formation, he's got an Eagle unit. Okay, he's only got 1 upgrade on that Eagle unit, so he'll make sure he keeps that Eagle unit out of battle for as long as he can. But of course, that is giving good morale to his troops. The Eagle unit is a morale-giving unit there. And also, I see he's got 6 cavalry, including a cavalry armoured general. Now, as I say, up to about 8 or 9 years ago, we always used to bring a Roman armoured cavalry general as our general, but about 8 or 9 years ago, we changed to infantry. So it's nice to see a bit of old school here, with Salty bringing a Julii Roman general. Now, if we look at the upgrades on his cavalry, I see he's got 7 upgrades on his cavalry. So that's an Experience Stripe, Gold Shield, Gold Attack. So that looks a pretty good army. So there's the other team. As you can see, full of experience, really good player, and this has got the ingredients to be a really great battle. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought I'd talk about the three reasons I wanted to show this battle. The first one is because it's a good battle, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. And the second one is because it's being fought on a custom map supplied by Brotherhood member Mystique that I don't think I've ever fought on before. Now, if you notice here, it's a very steep hill leading down to the sea. Okay, now I just want to show you the steepness of this hill by moving back up it and going right down, so you can see how steep this hill is, and it's the same on the other side. Okay, so straight away, veterans looking at this, can you guess tactically why this map is going to be difficult to fight on? Okay, there's no advantage or disadvantage to either side here. It's all the same. Okay, so even though the map's steep, you can see how steep it is there, on both sides, there's no disadvantage or advantage to either side. It's the same map difficulty for both teams. But as you see, there is a reason here that this map will be difficult to fight on. Okay, and also I'd like to, the other reason I've like to show this battle is usually it's 4 Brotherhood members against 4 Brotherhood members, but here we've got 4 Brotherhood members against 4 really good non-Brotherhood members in this game, and I just thought that was an interesting, we should add a little bit more interest to the battle here, because as I say, we got 4 non-Brotherhood members here, all really good players against a Brotherhood member team. We don't see that very often. As I say, normally when we fight, it is a Brotherhood team against another Brotherhood team. So as I say, this is an unusual battle to show here. As I say, 4 Brotherhood members against 4 non-Brotherhood members here. And as I say, those 4 non-Brotherhood members are all good players, and so this has got the ingredients to be a cracking game, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, right at the beginning of the battle here, you can see that Mars is going to be super aggressive. Can you see he's moving straight over towards the enemy team there with his troops? Mars can be very aggressive when he wants to be. When he's in that mood to be aggressive, he is going to be aggressive. Now, as you notice here, do you remember I asked you earlier why this map would be difficult to fight on? Okay, veterans and newer players watching this, can you see why you think this map would be difficult to fight on here? Okay, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But as you can see here, can you see that Salty here is using his fast-moving cavalry general all over the battlefield? They're probably looking to be a nuisance, looking to disrupt, harass and harangue our troops as we're trying to form up. Nice little tactical move there by him using that fast-moving cavalry general. Remember, that's got hit points as well as good specifications there, so it's difficult to kill. But as I say, you can see Mars here setting his credentials out right from the beginning of the battle there, moving straight up towards the enemy. If you notice, Mad King's Brutii cavalry is just behind him as well. But as I say, being very aggressive here, moving towards Earth's infantry. Now remember, Earth's only got 8 infantry. I think Mars has spotted that. And remember, Mars, I think, has got 14 infantry against Earth's 8. So they may well be looking as this being a weaker part of the enemy battle line here. That's maybe why he's being so aggressive. As I say here, Salty using his fast-moving cavalry general there to cause a bit of mischief and mayhem. But if you do that, you must always be aware of where your general is, because all of a sudden you could be running around the battlefield, and if you're not paying attention, you'll find that he's routed because he's been hit by enemy cavalry or something like that. But as I say, back to the battle here, you can see Mars is attacking there very, very aggressively. Let's just pause the game for a second. So as I say, Mars here moving forward towards Earth. As I say, I think he probably spotted that Earth's only got 8 infantry, so he's looking at that maybe as being the weaker part of the battle line here. But as I said to you earlier, do you remember I said to you about why is this map difficult to fight on? Well, of course, if you try any flanking moves, okay, if you want to do a flanking attack, why do you think it would be bad to try a flanking attack? Well, of course, if you bring your troops round here, what's going to happen? Yeah, you're going to flank the enemy, but this map is so steep. If you notice when we were looking at the troops, you could almost fall off of it. Well, of course, if you flank, you're going to be coming around here, and then you're going to be fighting uphill. And you remember the last battle video I put on showed you the advantages of being on higher ground. So no one's going to want to flank, because if you do, you're going to be fighting uphill with all the disadvantages that that brings. So as I say, this map is very difficult to fight on with no flanking, really. As I say, if you try to flank, you will be fighting uphill, and nobody wants to do that. So this, as I say, this is an unusual map. First time I've fought on this map, to my knowledge. As I said, it's supplied by this custom map supplied by Brotherhood member Mystique. So it'll be interesting to see how the battle goes. As I say, flanking on either side with those steep hills are going to be difficult. But if you notice here, can you see that Mars is a little bit exposed there? Can you see he's a little bit on his own, a bit isolated over there, ready to be hit maybe? Over here on our left flank, not a lot going on at the moment. But as I say, Mars is so far forward of our troops here. Maybe Macedon and SBQR are thinking about hitting him, and he's moving even more away from us. He's moving towards the enemy even more aggressively here. And as I say, I just wonder whether the Macedon general and the SBQR general here, with their, and I see there's some Julii cavalry there as well, are thinking of hitting Mars. I see, as I say, Mad King, very good support there with his cavalry up behind Mars. But as I say, on the left flank here, not a lot going on at the moment. But as you know, in other battle videos that we've seen, quiet places can all of a sudden turn into a really hot spot of a battle. Right, if you notice, I'm moving my Carthage army forward. Now, I've bought this Carthage army, this old Carthage army, for a reason. Players that I play with a lot will know why I've bought this Carthage army, and that is because this army is built to counter other pike or spear armies. So you can see what I'm aiming for here. I'm looking to go for that Macedon army. Right, let's just pause the game for a second. So as I say, that's my old block formation there, and I'm looking to go for that Macedon army. That's why I've bought this old Carthage army here, is I want to take on Macedon. Yeah, they got the big 120 man units with those long pikes, but Carthage does punch above its weight. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. As I say, there's a lot of The thing is, I don't want to attack them head on because there's a lot of Roman troops on either side that love to throw their pilas into my Carthage sacred band. So I've got to wait for my chance and my opportunity to try and hit that Macedon army without allowing enemy Roman troops to throw their pilas into me. Okay, so it's going to be tactical and strategic here. Okay, right, now I'd like to draw your attention here to newer players to Rome Total War. Just like to draw your attention. Can you see here that the red Julii general, I think it's Salty here, has got a mass glitch. Okay, now a glitch, as you can see, is when your troops spread out all over the battlefield. But luckily here, Salty's troops are spreading out behind his own allies there. So he's not going to suffer any casualties. But remember, when you see a glitched army, you never attack. In fact, sometimes you pull back, you turn off your archers, you turn off your pilas, and you just make sure that you don't hit any of those glitched troops if you can possibly help it, because nobody wants cheap kills in this game. And if you attack a glitched army, probably the game will be terminated and you won't be invited back into a new game. Okay, so nobody attacks glitched armies. Really bad sportsmanship, and as I say, nobody wants cheap kills. Okay, over here on the left flank you can see that Mad King with his Brutii troops and Mystique with the Scipii troops there have kind of integrated their army here. But if you notice, they've pulled back because they can see Salty has got a glitch there, so they've kept their army back. As I say, we always try to be fair and sportsmanlike when we play our battles there. Remember, no attacking glitched armies. Okay, right. So you can see here, can you see that Sparky now has split his Macedon army? Remember, we saw that he had two separate armies and he split them up there. Now, can you see he's got his main army there as kind of like a little bit of bait, because what he'd like me to do is charge head on into his army there. Not only would I be hit by pilas on my flank, but then he would bring his secondary army into the flank of my engaged Carthage sacred band. Now, he may think that I'm going to fall for that, but I'm not going to. But if I did, I feel confident with this old Carthage army that I still probably would be able to do quite good against Macedon. As I say, Carthage does punch above its weight against these big 120-man units, even with they've got the long pikes and the numbers. Okay, over here on our right flank, you can see Mars has spread out an infantry unit there to try and stop any cavalry flank in action. Notice how he's got them out wide there, very wide formation. And he's moving forward once again. Mars being extremely aggressive in this battle. As I say, I think because he can see that Earth's only got 8 infantry, and he may be, as I say, looking at that as a kind of a weak part of their battle line there. But if you notice here, I'm moving my Carthage army forward. I just want to kind of engage that Macedon army if I can. But as I say, I've got to be careful, I've got to be patient. Remember, Mystique's fully upgraded archers will probably be shooting into those Macedon pikemen, or at least targeting any enemy archers that are there. Fully upgraded, and then you notice that Mystique has got them in tight formation, so more impact with arrows to do more damage. Okay, here you can see on our right flank a lot of enemy cavalry moving over to our right flank here. Now, maybe they are thinking of doing a right flanking action, but if they go down too far that hill, then they will be fighting uphill. And as I say, that's not a very good tactical decision there. Right, if you notice, they're charging downhill into one of Mars's infantry units there. So that's a nice tactical hit by them. Downhill charge into that infantry unit. That infantry unit's probably going to rout pretty soon. Let's just pause the game for a second. Okay, so as I say, if they come too far down here on a flanking action, as I said, I showed you before, they would be fighting uphill, and with all the disadvantages that brings of fighting uphill. So what I'm thinking is here, after they've taken out that infantry unit, they may well move their cavalry back up to an even keel, a little bit further up on the hill. Okay, I can see Mars getting his cavalry ready maybe for a counterattack. I've got my 3 cavalry there as well. All the time my slingers, I've got my slingers targeting those Macedon pikemen there, because remember, those 120-man pike units there are extremely susceptible to missile damage. Meanwhile, over on our left flank here, as you can see, not a lot going on really. Pretty quiet, but as we've seen in other battle videos, the quiet places can all of a sudden turn into the hot spots of the battle there. You see here, Mad King can't flank. He's probably thinking, he's probably thought about it, but look, if he goes down here, he's going to be fighting uphill. That's why this map is so difficult to fight on. You can't really do any flanking actions because automatically you'll be fighting uphill, as I say, with all the disadvantages that brings and all the advantages that gives the enemy team. who we are trying to flank. Okay, can you see here Mars? He's been really aggressive in this battle, and he's charging his cavalry straight into the enemy cavalry there. See his cavalry going in there, moving fast, and bang! As his cavalry smashes into the enemy cavalry there. But now he's really in an exposed position with his cavalry, because he's going to be hit downhill by Julii cavalry. You can see the enemy cavalry coming up into his flanks. And it wouldn't surprise me if all his cavalry there has now been routed through pure aggression there. Maybe a bit of overconfidence there. Very, very aggressive. Right, if you notice here, in the meantime, I charged my Carthage army forward to engage the Macedon pikemen, but he's now pulling his pikes back. Okay? Trying to draw me forward there, so that his allies can throw their pilers into the flanks and rear of my infantry. Right, if you notice here, you can see Mars taking his infantry down towards his beleaguered cavalry. I'm taking my cavalry down there as well. Okay, so he's trying to move his infantry down, but I've got a feeling we're not going to get there in time, and I've got a feeling all his cavalry is going to be routed. Can you see all the Scipii cavalry? Right, so all of Mars's cavalry has now been routed. Okay, so we've lost all our Scipii cavalry on our right flank. Alright, really over-aggressive there maybe by Mars. It's nice to see aggression, nice to see attack, but maybe that was kind of almost a bridge too far with his cavalry. But say, meanwhile here, if you notice now, I'm pulling my infantry back. I move forward to engage those Macedon pikemen, but I can see the trap that he's trying to pull me into there, so that I get pilers thrown into my flank and rear by his allies. So I'm now going to pull my Carthage Sacred Band out. As I say, I don't want enemy Roman troops throwing pilers into the flanks or attacking the flanks of my engaged infantry, so I'm going to pull them back now. But as I say, over here on our right flank, we have lost all our Scipii cavalry. If you notice here, I'm charging my Sacred Band. Remember, they've got 8 upgrades in there to try and support him, but neither his infantry or my cavalry could get there in time to save all his cavalry. So as I say, we've just lost 6 well upgraded Scipii cavalry there. If you notice here, I'd love to Sparky's cavalry to engage me, because I'd have the downhill advantage here, but I notice that Sparky will take his cavalry away there, because he doesn't want a downhill cavalry charge on him. If you notice here, Mad King just brought his Brutii cavalry over to support. But as I say, Mars being very aggressive today with his army. As I say, it's great to be aggressive, great to be attacking. You grab the initiative. The enemy has to kind of react to you and dance to your tune, but you must be careful to have controlled aggression and maybe just not to go too far. Right, if you notice the way he's positioned his army here, okay, but can you see the threat that poses to his army in the way that he's positioned it? Okay, he's going to attack Earth's SPQR troops, but also he's slightly going uphill as well. Plus he's got those SPQR fully upgraded cavalry on his flank, plus he's got Macedon pikemen coming down onto his flank as well. So if he's going to attack, yeah, he's going to engage those SPQR troops who are slightly on higher ground than him, but he's got a good chance of being hit by pikes and well upgraded cavalry. As we move across the battlefield here, you can see not a lot going on at the moment. Mystique's got a couple of units in Testudo to protect against any frontal attack there. And meanwhile here you can see that Mad King is moving his infantry a little bit higher, and you've got Tara there with that SPQR army. As I say, it's a bit quiet here on our left flank and left centre, and on our right centre there as well. But as I say here, a little bit worried about Mars's positioning here. He's got Macedon cavalry that could smash into his rear as well. So as I say, he is being really aggressive today with his army. But if you notice that Macedon cavalry coming in behind, it wouldn't surprise me if it had a combination SPQR cavalry hit as well. Right, can you see that Macedon cavalry going in? And bang! As that cavalry smashes into the rear of his troops, you've got SPQR, fully upgraded SPQR cavalry coming in, and bang! As they smash into that. Can you see Mad King here? Great supporting action by Mad King, charging his Brutii cavalry in to try and support his ally. But is it too late? Has our Scipii ally there lost most of his infantry? If you notice, I'm running my spear army forward. I didn't want to really engage Roman troops here, but if you notice here, can you see that at this time Mars has only got 3 infantry units left? Okay, so he's lost all his cavalry and has only got 3 infantry left on our right flank. Okay, so our right flank is in danger of maybe breaking here. If you notice, I've run my Carthage spear army forward. my intention was not to fight Roman troops here, but I've got to stand into the breach, I think, here, and try and hold on our right flank now. If you notice, Mystique, very good team player, bringing over some reinforcements. Can see the danger of what's happening to us there on the right. Meanwhile, as I say, over on our left flank here, you can see Mad King has taken up a defensive position on slightly higher ground, just to see what Tara's going to do there. But I think the main, maybe the pivotal part of the battle is being fought here on the right flank. Okay, so as I say, I didn't want to engage Roman troops with my Carthage army. I just bought this army to engage Macedon. But now I've got to feel that I've got to stand into the breach, as most of our Scipii allies units have now been taken out. Okay, so I'm moving forward here, but I'm going to be aggressive with this Carthage Sacred Band army. Going to keep pushing forward, being very aggressive here. But as you can see, I'm fighting Roman SBQR troops, and I'm fighting Macedon troops, and there's even enemy Julii troops there now as well. Maybe they can smell blood here on this flank, and they're throwing in reinforcements to try and break our right flank here. Let's pause again for a second, because as I say, I'm pushing forward here. As I say, I had no intention of fighting Roman troops if I could help it, because I bought this army really just to take out Macedon if I can. But now I'm fighting enemy SBQR troops, enemy Julii troops, and of course Macedon as well. As I say, Mars was very aggressive, but he lost a lot of his units now. As I say, I felt I had to stand into the, move into the breach there to try and hold our right flank. I see Mars has still got some, 4 units, maybe 5 infantry units, maybe some rallied units there. But as I say, this could prove pivotal. Our right flank could prove pivotal. You can see Saltus Julii troops attacking Mystique's reinforcements that Mystique has brought over to support us. You can see that Mad King, seeing the danger on our right flank there, is moving infantry and cavalry over, being pursued by the enemy SBQR Tara's army there. But as I say, Salty aggressively attacking Mystique here. So as I say, this could prove pivotal, this right flank of ours. Now, looking at the way that Spark is moving some of his infantry, his pike units at the rear, he may look to move around the right flank there to try and flank us. He may well try that. Right, see Mad King's Brutii cavalry charging in here. Bang! As he charges in. A nice relieving cavalry charger. Takes a bit of pressure off of Mystique's infantry, and also causes a lot of casualties in that enemy Julii infantry. So nice supporting cavalry charge there by Mad King. Okay, see this fully upgraded SBQR cavalry coming in. Bang! Just smashes into what's left of Mars's infantry there. Remember, that's Earth's fully upgraded, 9 upgrades cavalry, upgraded cavalry there. If you notice, like we said, Spark is moving some of his pikemen round our flank as well. But with my Carthage Sacred Band, all I'm concentrating on here is just moving forward. Aggressive attacking with my Sacred Band here. Just trying to take the battle to the enemy. But if you notice, as I say, they flanked us here. Nice hit Mystique with cavalry there. Bang, straight into the flank of that Macedon unit. Nice support there. But I see that Mars there is protecting my flank there, very good with what's left of his Scipii army. But all the time here, I can't emphasise how much I'm clicking on my units to move forward, attack, being aggressive. I'd like to take out that Macedon general if I could. Obviously, as you know, Macedon morale is not very good. If we can take out that Macedon general, then hopefully their morale would drop enough for their units to start routing. Do you notice, can you see my units moving forward there? Really pushing forward. But as I say, I'm fighting enemy SBQR, fighting Julii and Macedon troops as well with that Carthage Sacred Band army. Just pushing forward there all the time, trying to get that Macedon general. Right, let's just pause again for a second here. So as I say here, you can see Mars is trying to protect my right flank against that Macedon flanking action there. So well done to him with the units he's got left. Otherwise, those Macedon units are going to push into my flank, which would be bad for me. As I say, I got Julii troops, SBQR troops, as well as Macedon pushing in on me as well. But as I say, I've got to try and hold this right flank and right centre between us. So if you notice, my left flank of my pikes there is being attacked by Julii troops. See, I'm pushing forward there, but I've got enemy Julii troops pushing in on me as well as I say there, see, they're attacking my flank there. So as I say, I'm being very aggressive with that Carthage Sacred Band army, just pushing ahead. At the back there, can you see some of Mystique's cavalry fighting some of Earth's cavalry there? And as I say here, you can see Mystique has been really aggressively attacked by assault his infantry there. Let's say Mad King here is facing the enemy SBQR. Not a lot of action on this left flank. You can see both their armies are basically intact, but the main action has been on the right flank here. And as I say, I'm taking the battle to the enemy, being extremely aggressive with my spearmen there, just pushing forward all the time. Want to try and take out that Macedon general. Really surging towards that Macedon general. Really want to take him out. Right, if you see Mars here is stopping that Macedon attack. Right, I think we've killed the Macedon general, which is what I wanted to do. And straight away you can see a couple of Macedon units starting to rout. Okay, we've taken away that general morale bonus by taking out that general. Nice hit in the rear by Mystique's cavalry, and bang, as that cavalry goes into the rear of those Macedon units. Really nice hit there by Mystique. Nice tactical surgical hit there. So we've taken out most of the Macedon pikemen now. If you notice, I'm still moving forward with my spearmen there, still trying to take out more what's left of those Macedon pikemen. A nice hit there by our Brutii and Mad King general there with his cavalry. Took out a lot of the enemy Julii units there. So as you can see here on our right flank and right centre, after what looked like a bit of a disaster for us, we've managed to turn things around on our right flank and right centre and have now routed most of the enemy troops that were there. So now we can start turning our attention now to moving over to our left flank there and helping our allies. Okay, so as I say, we've managed to like break the enemy attack there on our right flank. And so we've done quite well. I'm glad to see Mars got some troops that were rallied back there as well. Really great help there. And as you can see, Mad King has used his cavalry on so many occasions. They're great supporting action here. But as you can see, Salty's still attacking Mystique, and you've got the enemy SBQR troops attacking Mystique. But if you can see there, can you see Mad King's infantry basically are intact. But as I say, on this right flank here, we turned what looked a really bad situation into quite a good situation for us now. Now if you notice here, I've upped my spears so I can run my troops, okay? Because I want to get my troops over to that left flank to help my allies out. If you notice, Mars is doing the same with his Scipio troops. We need to get over there and try and support our allies as quickly as we can. Okay, if you notice that 4 or 5 of my units there are taking on those Julii troops head on there. Can you see? Just pause the game for a second. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got those still running forward. And now what should I do? Should I run on, try and take out that SBQR cavalry? Can you see I've got some units here fighting those Julii infantry? Do you think I should run on, try and take out those SBQR cavalry with those other units, or run over and try and get into the rear of that SBQR infantry? So what would you do at this time with my run-in Carthage Sacred Band? Okay, what do you think you would do? Carry on running up over the top of the hill? Or is there another target you might see like hitting? Well, if you notice here, can you see I'm going to try a hammer and anvil attack here. I'm going to charge my running Carthage Sacred Band into those engaged Julii troops, and also try and blunt that SBQR cavalry charge going in there as well. Okay, so I'm charging them in there, hoping to take out these Julii infantry there in a hammer and anvil attack. Notice as soon as I put my spears down there and start moving forward, a lot of those Julii units start to rout there. So that was the target I was going to set myself there. But if you notice that the enemy SBQR general is doing extremely well. Big cavalry hits into the back of Mad King's infantry there. Routed a couple of the units. Nice hit there by Tara's cavalry. Of course, Mad King was supporting us all over the battlefield with his cavalry. Probably suffered a lot of damage, if not lost all his cavalry. So he can no longer support his infantry with his cavalry, because he'd helped all over the battlefield and lost most of his cavalry. So his infantry are open to cavalry attack because he can't cover them. As I say, because he lost most of his cavalry and helping all of us all over the battlefield, charging in with his cavalry to relieve enemy attacks on us. So we're moving forward here. My Sacred Band are moving forward all the time. We've got cavalry in behind the last enemy general left. And if you notice here, as I say, my Sacred Band moving forward all the time. Whenever I play with that Sacred Band, I'm always aggressive with those spearmen. I don't let them stand still. I keep moving them all the time to be aggressive. Nice hit there in the rear of Mad King's infantry there by Tara. Routed a lot more of Mad King's infantry. So over here on our left flank, you can see the SBQR generals doing extremely well. Okay, Mad King still got some infantry units left, but that tower has been taking out a lot of Mad King's infantry here. But we're gradually moving forward with what troops we've got left to try and roll the enemy up from right to left. As I say here, with my infantry always moving forward, always being aggressive, even against Roman troops here. Still aggressive, attack, attack, attack. Taking the battle to the enemy here. But as I say, you can see, remember we are the blue, the green and Carthage, and the enemy are the purple, okay, and the red that are left here. The purple and the red that are left. Nice hit there by Mystique's cavalry, right into the rear of those engaged SBQR troops. Really nice tactical surgical hit there with that cavalry. Really nice to see. And as you see, we're still moving forward here. I see that the SBQR general's still alive, but in an exposed position there. Probably going to get hit, I would think. We probably all spotted that SBQR general's there. Another SBQR cavalry hit, and bang, as that goes in. Routs another one of Mad King's units there. But we're all moving forward now, trying to take out the last of the enemy troops, which are the purple SBQR. They're the last of the troops to take out now. As you can see, we're moving forward further and further towards them. And I think it's going to be, as you can see, it's probably going to be a numbers game now. And I think we've... there's Earth charging his fully upgraded cavalry in, and bang, as that cavalry goes in there. Really aggressive with that cavalry has been. Nice surgical hits with that cavalry, causing casualties all over the battlefield. I just want to show you the intensity of this battle here. Right from over here on the right flank. Right from here, do you remember that action with cavalry there and infantry there? Lots of dead cavalry and infantry there. That was where a lot of, I think, Mars's troops got taken out. And then up here as well, you can see how intense the fighting was by just seeing the piles of dead in this particular part of the battlefield. As I say, I think that right flank and right centre proved pivotal to the outcome of the battle there. As you can see there, piles of dead all the way up there. And as I say, we finally managed to take out the last of the enemy troops there. I say it's an unusual map. I think it's, to my knowledge, the first time I fought on it. As I say, with those two sloping sides, made it very difficult to flank, as you could see there. Otherwise, you'd be fighting uphill. I think that's the last of the SBQR troops there, just being taken out. And there you go, just been taken out there. See those troops celebrating after taking that that unit out there. This is pause again for a second. I think my general there got 3 men left in there, I think. You can see my general there. So that's all I got left in my unit there, is just my general. That's it. So that goes to show how tough the fighting was there. And as I say, it was an average victory. Now, I thought it would have been a close victory myself, but as I say, we must have just scraped into an average victory there. So, just like to say, really well played to everybody in the game there. It was great to have a 4 Brotherhood team against 4 non-Brotherhood battle there. It's the first time I think we've done that for ages and ages and ages. 4 Brotherhood members against 4 really good 31k players. So I'd like to say, once again, really well played to everybody in the game there. As I say, it says average victory, but I'd have thought really it was probably more of a close victory myself there. Just like to draw your attention to that very old Carthage army of mine. Scraped in the highest kills there, just about. So I was pleased with the way that old army performed there against good modern players. So as I say, that's maybe 11 or 12-year-old army there. And well done to Mystique, good kills. I wonder if those fully upgraded archers contributed to a lot of those kills. Well done to Mad King and Mars, but also well done to the enemy team. Good kills there as well. So as I say, looking at the kills there, I'd say I thought it would have been a closer battle than that. Just have a look at the battle statistics for my army. Can you see there? A lot of units there maybe didn't do as good as I thought they could have done. But I'd like to draw your attention here to 3 units you might not think of. The Balearic Slingers. Look at the kills they got. One unit got 156 and one unit got 151. So it just goes to show missile troops can be important on the modern day battlefield here. I'd just like to say really well done to RV Earth, well done to Titan Sparky, well done to HOS Tara, and well done to Salty. Really well played, that team. Great moves, great aggression there, and once again really well played. But also really well played to Brotherhood member Mystique, Brotherhood member Mad King, and Brotherhood member Mars. Really nice attacking, aggressive, and really nice teamwork as well. This is Spartan Commander saying, if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. It's always nice to read what you think about our battles. So saying bye for now.